There have been at least 6 murders in the past 48 hours.
In Detroit.
Disturbing video now of a man shooting a bouncer outside a strip club in Detroit.
Crime hits hard.
A rash of murders has Detroit police and residents on alert today.
He said the budget is not going to allow for more police, so police need the community to help to continue the overall decrease in crime.
One company hits back harder.
Tired of waiting for police and sick of crime, some frustrated local homeowners and businesses are turning to a new kind of security.
All eyes on crime.
Their movement is captured on cameras and recorded on computers back at the control center. Within minutes, this intruder has company.
Missions.
The father, who is a drug dealer from Yemen, currently at the home. Our objective is to reunite the 2-year-old daughter with the mother, who was taken from Arizona against the mother's will.
The victim is in trouble, they can press this button, and the team here can track down their exact location.
Life and death hang in the balance.
Until the day I die.
Putting their lives on the line to save others.
Until the day
VIPERS, Detroit.
This episode of Cop Block is brought to you by freekeen.com.
In February of 2012, I posted a write-up to copblock.org titled, "Frustrated, Detroit Residents Compete with Police." Included in the story was a picture of Dale Brown, founder of the Threat Management Center. A year later, when I knew I was to roll through Detroit as part of the Cop Block tour, I reached out to Brown, who graciously welcomed me at his facility and shared with me some of his time and knowledge. It was definitely worth a stop.
My name is Dale Brown, founder of the Threat Management Center, located in Detroit. What Threat Management Center represents in general is how to properly manage human threats to create the most nonviolent outcome possible. I started in 1995 in the security capacity, helping the community deal with violent criminals. We're doing home invasions and murders in our area. I would call police, I would constantly reach out, and what I found was there was a general apathy and complacency where law enforcement was just not interested as a group. There were certain officers that were motivated, and those community-oriented officers bonded with our organization, and we were able to, with their assistance, create a condition where all the murders, home invasions, and other types of violent crimes stopped. The result of stopping the violence and the criminal activity was a good quality of life for the residents that lived there, which ultimately led to the building owners going into the black for the first time in 20 years. And it just took a couple of good officers, and my staff consisted initially just of me, a dog, and a rifle. And then it just grew from there. I just got volunteers from the community to help out. I got the building owners to give me one free apartment in each building and a small financial stipend. It didn't take much money, but it took lots of self-sacrifice. The key was to put the protection of the families before my own and to think about one thing, which was good quality of life for the people there. And the way to do that was to use not the legal system to prosecute people, but to prevent the conditions which could lead to violent encounters. And that includes having heroic law enforcement officers out there putting themselves at risk, not thinking about themselves, not thinking about getting home to their families safely at night, but thinking about the citizens getting home to their families first and foremost. We need that kind of policing. The kind of policing we have right now typically is an officer thinking about their own safety, and that's what they're taught. That false thought process means they can't truly protect anyone appropriately. The cornerstone for protection is love, not violence, not guns, not laws. You cannot and you will not truly protect anything that you do not love. But if you love something, love someone, love people, you can protect them, and it starts with yourself. Having people that love themselves, love their family members, love their community, love people in general, those are the people that can protect the best, because they will put themselves at risk for others. And that is the key. That level of intention and dedication is the key to stopping violent predatory behavior. You want these predators to realize there is no way they're going to achieve violence perpetrated against families or the people that are there, because when the violent predator sees them, they're going to realize this person is dedicated to the safety there, and they're going to back down. And if they don't back down, that person will be able to manage threats properly if they go through our training. And that's what really separates our organization from any other, is the fact that it really is designated and designed specifically to create nonviolence, but if there is going to be violence, to make sure that you're significantly capable of managing those threats properly. We constantly recruit. We're a performance-based organization. Our bodyguard program, which is called VIPERS, stands for Violence Intervention Protective Emergency Response System. The foundation for its success is in the fact that the individuals that are in our organization, in order to participate, have to be altruistic. Our lifeblood of this organization is having people that are really talented, really motivated, and highly skilled by constantly training them. And those people that do not want to train or are not good enough are replaced by better people. We are not looking for people, and we do not accept people who are human predator oriented. So people that like to fight, or people that like to shoot people. A lot of times guys come back from the military organizations, and I have to be careful, because we're not looking for the kind of mindset that says, you know what, it's okay to use violence as long as you can legally explain it. We're looking for people that don't want to use violence under any conditions. What we emphasize is 100 ways in a situation which would normally be fatal force oriented, 100 ways to not have a violent or fatal incident take place. We perform 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We protect communities here in Detroit, upscale communities like Palmer Woods, Sherwood Forest, and the golf course. We have approximately 1,000 homes that depend on us for safety, responding to them and their families and their emergencies. And we have approximately 500 businesses that are our clients as well. And then the people that cannot afford our services, we help them for free. The reason that we can do that is because there is a healthy profit margin left over from excellence from providing for our major corporations. We offer free training to families. We call it Free Family Friday. Typically, the prosecutor's offices, the shelters in the area for domestic violence victims, stalking victims are sent to us for assistance. We protect them for free. We escort them to court. If they have a violent ex-husband or boyfriend or neighbor or some stranger that's coming after them, we will literally stay with them, transport their kids to school. We stay with them at their homes with our rifles and keep them alive. And in 20 years, none of us have had a court date, and more importantly, none of us have been killed. And the most important, no one who's ever come to us for help in 20 years has ever been injured or killed after coming to this organization. On Mondays, we have a free class for any sworn law enforcement officer. We have a state trooper that I've trained for 10 years who's in charge of the law enforcement section here. And we don't believe in being weapon dependent here. Here, guns are like a first aid kit, something you should have, but not something you should depend on. When they have an option to not injure someone, often they would choose that had their training system given that to them. And so that's one of the things we do, is try to fill a person's toolbox, thinking of their mental toolbox as the toolbox that you go around answering all your questions with. We make sure that in that toolbox are so many options to create a nonviolent outcome that it's almost impossible to have violence. So we show you how to get close, how to use psychology to take that person's perspective and change it so there is no adversarial perspective. And if there is going to be one, you're so close you can still take control of that person without injuring them. So it's all positive. Creating positive outcomes, nonviolence equals a prosperous outcome. And that's one of the things we want to encourage all communities, all corporations, law enforcement institutions to realize. It is focusing on the prevention of the conditions which leads to violence, which is the key to creating a safe, successful society.
Are you sick of government lackeys who say you didn't build that? Are you tired of elitists who think you need a government permission slip for everything? Everything you do is an A to B conversation, and the government should see their way out of it. Create true free markets by adopting the BIPCOT No Government License. The BIPCOT No Gov license allows use or modification of any product, service, or software except by governments or government agents. Go to bipcot.org. That's Bravo, India, Papa, Charlie, Oscar, Tango.org.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Peaceful Anarchism on the Voluntary Virtues Network on theseedsofliberty.com and theconsciousresistance.com. Peaceful anarchism is covered by the BIPCOT no government license. This allows for reuse by anyone except for governments and the agents thereof. You can find out more information about that at bipcot.org in the description. So today I'm delighted to have Dale Brown, who's coming in from Detroit, Michigan. He is with the VIPERS Threat Management Center. Website is threatmanagementcenter.com. And on Twitter, it's at Threat Managers. So Facebook is Vipers Threat Management Center, and then you can also find him on his personal page, Dale Brown, on Facebook. And we'll talk about, how he got into the whole, private security defense field, what got him into that, as well as, what Viper stands for and what his organization is all about, because I think a lot of people will be interested to find out just how profitable peace and prosperity can be. I think you guys do a great job of that. So Dale, thanks a lot for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. I heard you on Tom Woods, and you're on Jeff Berwick, and you're getting around, and you told me before you're on a lot of other outlets, which is really great. Getting your word out there, because so many people have a hard time understanding. Well, how can you be better than the police? They're the police, they're supposed to protect us and they keep us safe, and this is what the movies tell me. The movies tell me the police keep us safe.
Right. Well, by now people should see that there's something wrong with that definition. In fact, most police officers will tell you there's something wrong with that definition. Law enforcement is law enforcement. They enforce laws. Now, sometimes enforcing laws can be beneficial to public safety. Not very often, though. In general, it's a negative metrics. In other words, you must have arrests for something. Those things that are most disconcerting are things like rape, robbery, and killing, because in order to arrest for those things, people must have perpetrated those things, which is the opposite of public safety.
Right.
So public safety would be the prevention of the things that the police are measured by.
Yeah,
so that would not be, by definition. Therefore, law enforcement is not actually protection. It is actually law enforcement. So we don't do policing. We don't police people. We don't privately police people. That's disrespectful to what I do. As an organization, as an individual, I don't believe in that. I don't force people to do things. I don't use intimidation in order to create a way for us to have a non-violent outcome. What I do is use inspiration, and I teach through my school, and this is one of the things that's very important for people to understand. We are a school first. So the number one most important thing that we bring to the table is education. The understanding of what I created called tactical psychology, combined with what I created called tactical law, combined with the actual skill set, the tactics. This is what gives you the complete package in order to manage violent human behavior and create non-violent outcomes. So we're the only organization that is involved in public safety, the only organization that has a school that's dedicated to creating non-violent outcomes by having superior tactical skills, the understanding of law, and most importantly, understanding human behavior, how humans think. This is how we're able to create the non-adversarial interactions by understanding psychology and understanding how to use that information to create a bridge in which we can take someone psychologically from where we are in a dispute or situation of discourse and create a non-violent outcome, a psychological bridge towards a peaceful outcome by design, not by hope.
Yeah, what's so beautiful is I remember you talking about how you guys are you look tough, you look big, and people, I guess, intimidating, but you use that stature, I guess, authority that people give you just by the way you look, and then you also use psychology in order to diffuse tense situations that probably a police officer would not necessarily have those tools, and you guys do it in such an awesome way. and how you said you recently even stopped carrying weapons, lethal weapons, right?
Correct.
Can you go into that a little more?
First of all, there are many officers that use this kind of approach, police officers. It's just they're few and far between amongst all the others. And they're also normally chastised for being positive officers.
Wow.
So those police officers do exist that know how to use psychology in a very similar way to us. Ours just is an actual system. So it's not an individual coming up with like their own form of Columbo, an old school police detective that used to use cunning to communicate with people. It's not just that. It is really how to bond with another human being in a positive way and create a non-adversarial interaction. If the only time that we need to have take someone into custody is if they hurt someone. If they didn't hurt another person, then we can simply talk them out of a place that's just been terminated, talk them away from their ex-girlfriend or ex-wife's house or ex-husband's house, talk them off the property of someone who asked them not to be there. We can create nonviolent situations. How about when it's not necessarily a legal situation, it's a situation based in fear? When we walk up to people in total darkness, in the middle of the night, in the street, we don't have fear. The only reason we don't have fear is not because we're fools. It's because we have training. We train every week in close quarters tactics. How to dominate other humans in physical violence means that since we have the knowledge, we don't need to show it off, and we are calm. Where other people would panic and draw a gun and begin to think about their safety, we would be calm. And even though they said, "I'll kill you," we can actually still talk to them without saying it back to them.
Right.
We can actually say something non-threatening back because we don't feel threatened. We don't feel threatened because we replace threat, the feeling of threat, with actual skill set. So this is hard for people to understand. If you embrace fear, if you let it into your mind subconsciously, consciously you'll act on it. And so what we do is remove that through advanced tactical skills that we train on every week, we test on every week, and this is what determines your position, performance. Not because you're older, not because you've been here longer. In fact, a younger guy can come along and take your position if they outperform you. That's why we have more in common with a sports team, like a professional football team, than we do with a police department. Because the best person with the best outcome has the position. It doesn't matter what their ethnicity is, their religion, how tall they are. None of that matters. What special forces unit they were with, if they were a sniper, do they have a PhD? Can they not spell PhD? Only thing that matters is, are you a good communicator? Are you the kind of person that can create a non-adversarial interaction with another person, even when they're angry, even when they're threatening your life? Are you still able to remain calm and show them humanity, even though they're being disrespectful and threatening you with inhumanity in response? Do you have the strong enough willpower to control your fear and still remain confident because you're competent at managing violent criminal threat and violent human predation, predation in such a way that you don't let it affect your actual actions? That's very unusual. But that can only happen if you have a training system to support that initiative. That's why no matter what anybody tells you, they can't do the right thing when it comes to violence, because once you are in a position that you believe your life is in danger, you are now going to revert to a primal instinctive response. That primal instinctive response is there to preserve your life. It is only through advanced psychological training that you can overcome your natural urge to self-preserve. We all have a natural urge to self-preserve. That's how we're wired as humans, so we don't do dumb things and get ourselves killed. That fear causes a response, and that response is usually fight or flight. We remove that through actual skill set development, through having training, understanding of how to read body language properly. And this is how you gain your confidence. It's through actual competence. And now, so you even though a normal person would feel fear because the guy's standing in front of you and he's on drugs or he's high, he's drunk, and he's got a weapon, he's talking about killing you or killing someone else, you're going to close the gap. You're going to talk to him positively. You're going to stand next to him, not in front of him. Not in front of him. You're going to get elbow control. Stand next to him and talk to him and let him know how many ways you support his argument. No matter how stupid the argument is. His argument could be that all blacks are animal monkeys.
Right.
I will run right next to him. I will get right next to him, and I will agree with him, and I'll talk about monkeys. We're going to walk together out of this building.
Wow.
And when we're done, we're going to shake hands or hug and, leave each other without any issue.
Wow.
And then he'll probably be walking away going, hey, was that guy black? I think he was African-American. I was an African-American guy I was talking to.
You couldn't even tell.
Right. He was so nice. We agreed on so many things. I barely... He's just a tan. He must just be tan Mexican Italian. That's what it was. Tan Italian.
He couldn't have been black.
Yeah, he can't be because I said monkey and he was agreeing with me. At the end of the day, you have to separate yourself psychologically from the task. The task is to create nonviolence. Everything else is failure. So if you have to yell at someone, if you have to put your hands on them for any reason, if you have to use a weapon of any kind, if you have to hurt them in any way, you are a failure. The level of failure is commensurate with the level of force you needed. So if you end up having to shoot someone, you seriously screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's no reward. So you don't say, oh, look, there's a gunman. You killed the gunman. You're now a winner. No, you should have been able to create in that gunman the fear and the ability to believe the best thing to do was not shoot, put the gun down, and give up.
Right.
How you do that is up to you. You have to use your superior intelligence, your superior understanding of ingenuity, and initiative. So it's intellect, ingenuity, and initiative that are 3 I's, the most important things to what we're looking for in terms of a person on our staff. And as an organization, what we do is through our constant training and developing of confidence based on your competence, we focus on the evolution. So you actually enjoy learning. If you don't learn, we have a saying, you're either learning or you're leaving. You cannot hang out with us. We're not a gang.
Right.
You cannot worship me. You have no esprit de corps. In other words, you do not worship the group. You can only think about one thing, and that's the outcomes. That's a true value. That's the value to humanity. That's the value to clients. If I tell the clients, oh, you spent $1 million with us, and we really tried, but we failed, but we'll do better in the future, we're done. We're done here. So what we have to focus on is creating the outcome. So when cigarette companies hired me, it didn't matter I don't like cigarettes. What matters is people should be able to go to work without being hijacked, without being stabbed, without being taken hostage. So local law enforcement, the state police, the ATF got involved, and they couldn't stop this $250 million company from experiencing these robberies. So I was contacted. I was referred by someone we helped that owned a grocery store. And there we stopped seniors from being attacked. That was our primary task. Stopping the seniors from having their food stamps stolen on the east side of Detroit. And we were very successful at that. Families were able to go get their food without being harmed. And we didn't have to kill people to stop them either.
Right.
And have court dates and lawsuits.
Right.
So we started in 1998 with the cigarette company. Before that, we were exclusively in neighborhoods where what I did was I used to teach my self-defense system I created. I used to teach in a park, in several parks, and at the YMCA in Detroit. And so I didn't have any money when I first started. So I would just teach outside. I'd have students that would train, and then I eventually got money so I could rent a school, a martial arts school. And then as I started renting, then eventually I got enough students to where I could actually, sustain myself. And then I found out living on the east side of Detroit that I thought that what people needed was help as a liaison. So I was calling the police. I was helping them know, helping the police know where the violent criminals were, what direction they went in, and any information, and trying to get citizens to work with police. I was constantly at the police station. The police were completely uninterested in any way, shape, fashion, or form in helping to stop the violence in general. Now, certain officers were very supportive. What they call the good guy cops. Those cops are community oriented. They supported me. They supported the organization, and they stopped any bad cops from interfering with us. And there were some bad cops that were trying to interfere. The good cops, they blocked and they stopped them. And the administrative law enforcement wing, above all of them, they took over when they saw our results. Our results were no negative media stories, because we don't kill unarmed people. We don't beat up people that aren't being violent at the time. And we did not have to kill people and kill unarmed people because we found ways to solve issues normally non-violently. And we used a lot of psychology. The results of which meant that there was no negative occurrences in the jurisdiction. And in that same jurisdiction, 911 calls went down in 1 square block by 300 a month.
Wow, that's great.
The commander in that area got known for that, and that shot him up the chain of command here. That he was able to do something in the area and create an area that was known for extreme crime. There was a murder once a month in this 1 square block, and there were daily home invasions. When I say home invasions, I mean like third world, groups of men rushing in your home. And by the way, there was a lesbian gang as well, which I hadn't even heard of that.
Wow.
So when I saw them, I just thought it was women who were assertive with short hair. And it turns out they're offended that I didn't recognize them as a gang. So I did recognize them as a gang.
Wow.
And I treated them accordingly.
Wow.
And they were very violent towards, especially they were raping single moms, attacking their children, breaking in their homes.
Wow.
So I tried to work with police as much as possible. Even to this day, we always call police first before we take any action. And we interact with police probably, 1 out of 10, no, more like 1 out of, maybe like 1 out of 10 calls we might see the police. And usually the police are approximately 5 to 25 minutes after we arrive at a situation. And by the time the police get there, it's usually pretty much stable or
so you guys always arrive first, you're saying?
Yeah, with the exception, it's very rare. Maybe 1 out of 100 calls, the police will be there before us.
No, wow.
It's very rare. Very rare. We have a very fast response time, though.
Nice.
So, but when I started on the east side, I didn't have any money. I went to the building owners and I said, "Listen, we need to help the families because they're being robbed and killed in the apartment buildings you own here." The building owners were from the suburbs, very wealthy men. They explained women. One was an older lady. They explained to me that they don't want my help. They don't need my help, and they're not going to help me because they're not interested in anything I have to sell. And I wasn't selling anything except safety for the families. They were not interested in safety for the families. So then I went back to them. I was a little discouraged, but I didn't let it affect my overall objective. My objective was family safety. So if that's true, then I can't let someone say something or do something that interferes in that mission. So what I did was I went back to the same wealthy people and I said, give me 6 months, give me a free apartment because I'm about to get evicted anyway. I don't have any money. So the guy was like, okay, I'll give you 6 months, but I'm putting you out if it doesn't work, and I don't believe it's going to work because quite honestly, what could you do that the Detroit Police Department couldn't do?
Yeah.
I mean, how's that possible?
Right.
You're one guy and a dog and a rifle. What's that?
Oh, so that was just that was just you at that time.
Yeah, it was just me, a dog and a rifle.
Wow.
Poverty.
Wow.
My friends were poverty and poverty.
Wow.
And, so I told him, I said, well, I will do my, I don't know. I was really thinking like, I don't know what one person could do, honestly. But I saw it in the movies. I saw movies. Charles Bronson, some old school movies. I saw them. Clint Eastwood, Walking Tall, Billy Jack. These are movies you need to go see. So you can understand why I thought.
Some homework for the audience. Okay.
Right. Homework for the audience. So I thought this could work because I watched those movies. Now, once I encountered real bloodshed, and because I grew up in Ann Arbor, a college town, Ann Arbor, Michigan, home of University of Michigan, I really had no idea that the police were not interested in prevention of crimes. They were interested in prosecution of crimes.
Right.
So when I was talking about was prevention, they were like, "What do you mean go there now? They didn't do anything. No one's dead yet."
No one's dead yet.
We come over here now. There won't be anyone dead. They're like, "Yeah, exactly."
That's the point.
How dumb are you, sir? If you keep calling us, we'll keep coming around. We can't catch anyone. And I was like, that's kind of the point. That's kind of the point.
like, doesn't it say protect and serve on your cars? Like,
they are, man. Their idea is protect and serve by prosecuting people.
Right.
Period. Okay.
After the person dies. Yeah.
Can you imagine them showing up like, hey, when's the last time you heard of an award for police called "You have the least number of arrests award"?
Right.
We noticed your department has the lowest number of arrests. Good job.
Right.
When did you ever hear about that?
Exactly.
Your department wrote the least number of tickets. You guys are awesome. You know what I mean? No one ever said that, and they don't get rewards for that. They get rewards for negative metrics.
Right.
So when we talk about police, we got to remember policing is not public safety.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get offended when people go, you guys are like really good because you guys are like private police. Absolutely not. You can't call me and say, my neighbor's making loud music, go make him stop.
Right.
Police can. What I do is I'll go over there and talk to them and say, listen, hey guys, or, man, whatever. Your neighbor's got, children trying to sleep. Would you mind turning it down for your neighbors? Mm-hmm. And if they mind and they're like, no, we're going to have a party anyway. There's nothing I'm going to do.
Right.
I'm not going to write them a ticket.
Right.
I'm not going to go beat them up.
Right.
I did my part. When, hey, you live next to a noisy neighbor.
Yeah.
You have a choice to move.
Right.
I hope you don't. And then, we'll try to talk to them. But we're not going to force them to turn their music down. I'm not going to beat them up at their party. We're not going to attack them. And I'm not calling the police more than once because we have to call because we're hired. So in that case where it's volunteer, I don't have to call the police. Mm-hmm. For situations that are misdemeanors.
Mm-hmm.
We do call police for every felony violent situation first. So before we approach any situation, we call 911 so that legally no one can ever say we were usurping authority. We only take action when there's exigent circumstances. So there's never a time when someone said you guys were being vigilantes, ever. You are forbidden to move unless there is exigent circumstances where we can't call. We always call. And when we interact with people, we video record everything. Mm-hmm. And if it's an embarrassing recording, oh well. We don't lie about it and say, oh no, that video's lying.
Right.
No, that's not what I said.
So you're saying you don't confiscate people's phones and destroy them on the spot?
Absolutely not. Not even if I work for Justin Bieber.
Wow.
I was overseas with 50 Cent. Okay, that was a while ago.
Really?
So, and I was a bodyguard for a guy named Fabulous.
Uh-huh.
That was a while ago.
Wow.
Anyway, the bodyguards got arrested and jailed. They worked for 50 Cent because they attacked people for their phones. But first, they got beat up in Paris. Because African people do not want you touching their phones.
Right.
And they move in a group of 30 or something. So they're grabbing phones. They got beat up and they got arrested for stealing phones.
Yeah.
You can't touch people's phones. Native Americans are against their images being taken. I understand. However, unless you're on the reservation, your image can be taken.
Right.
And there's nothing you can do about it. So stop it. When people come to us and go, can I take your video? Can I videotape you? Yes, you can. Can I take a picture? Absolutely.
Right.
And so my guys, the way I train my staff is, I'll say to them, I go, what do you say when someone says that? Some guys will go, oh, I would say no, because, we're on duty. You can't record us. I said, really? I said, so what do you do if they start recording? You say, stop, turn it off. So what about when paparazzi record stars? Do you think that Kanye West gave permission?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe he did, but the point is, not really. You can't do that. So people are surprised with it. Like I even have guys, when we're recording them, they'll go, oh, you're recording me? Yes, sir. I don't want to. I don't consent to recording. That's okay. I wish I didn't have to record you. But unfortunately, we're talking to each other.
Right.
So I'm going to record everything
Right.
so I can show what I said to you and what you said to me. Let's just both be very professional in how we talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And they're like, well, I'm going to record you back. And I go, absolutely record me too. Yes.
Right.
Let's record each other. Let's have a recording war. And so all we're going to do is record each other, doing everything we're supposed to. And we're going to record each other being very, very polite and positive.
Right.
And then so nothing violent happens.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best ways, to ensure the truth comes out and to ensure peaceful interactions is this technology that enables people to record situations. That before it's like up to which witness saw this, how far away were you, what obstructions.
Well, I mean, now what you're seeing is people they're just discounting the video altogether. I mean, the video is obvious and it's showing the killing of someone unnecessarily.
Right.
And they're still like, well, I'm scared of black people, so I still kind of think it's okay.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, the latest one where they shot the guy in the stairwell, Gurley in New York. Like, really?
Oh, I didn't hear about that one. Oh.
Yeah, the officer got convicted in this case, first time in many, many years in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
And he was then not required to go to jail.
Really?
That's an example of good old Americana jury nullification. What they do is they just decide you will not be punished.
Yeah.
And that's happened many times throughout our history.
Right.
So that's normal. When it comes to African American life, there's just 0 point negative. There's a negative 100% value. So think of it this way. There's African Americans that shoot other African Americans every day.
Right.
The NRA does not offer them any money for their guns. The NRA does not offer them any assistance. No finder's fees, no extra funds.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Right.
There's a bunch of African Americans that use guns to shoot other African Americans.
Right.
And there's a bunch more European Americans who shot more European Americans.
Yeah.
And the NRA was giving them money for that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're European American and you shoot an African American, the NRA will support you, give you money. I mean, that's crazy, man. I'm an NRA fire instructor. I'm so disgusted. I just stopped sending them money.
Right.
I mean, think about the concept of that. You're gonna give a guy money for shooting an unarmed kid? Really?
Wow.
Really? That's the plan? That's the whole plan. You're gonna tell. So I'm teaching all these gun laws. Keep your finger off the trigger.
Right.
Never point at anything you don't intend to shoot.
Right.
And you can't shoot unarmed people.
Right.
And blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden it turns out you can shoot at certain unarmed people. That's pretty cool. Even if they're a child, it's still sweet as long as they have a hoodie on. Or what? I'm from Ann Arbor. 99% European American kids and adults. They smoke weed and they have hoodies.
Yeah.
And they all go to college.
Right.
And no one ever gets killed, ever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? There's no crotch searching by police for weed. And every year they have a hash bash in Ann Arbor where thousands of kids, adults, smoke weed and walk around without getting arrested by the police.
Mm-hmm.
Every year since 1960.
Right.
So I grew up in Ann Arbor and I came to Detroit and they act like a joint is like the end of the world. I just left a meeting here in Detroit. They're up in arms, not about the liquor stores, which there's like 10,000 liquor stores next to 20,000 churches. They're not worried about that. They're worried about medicinal marijuana.
Right.
Right? They're very worried about this. It's very serious. Like, why don't you, if you could I just left the meeting right now. They are so excited about blocking marijuana.
So
they're going to go to the bar tonight and have some liquor.
That's
how excited they are.
Is this like the local city government that you're talking about?
Yeah, city government. Yep, here in Detroit.
Yeah.
I just left a meeting with one of our upscale communities that we protect.
Okay.
And it was a big board meeting, and it held me up. That's why I ended up late with you. It's supposed to be over at like 7.
Oh, okay.
And they ended up going to like 8 something. I was terrible. I was in hell.
Oh.
As I had to listen to why marijuana is horrible.
Oh shoot!
You're talking to somebody. It's of the evil. It's evil. It's evil. Dr. Evil.
Yeah.
Has invented marijuana.
Right.
So I'm in this meeting, and I'm like, do you have any idea how many people I've choked on weed? How many people I've had to take down, smoke weed, and ecstasy? Let's see, that would be 0.
Right.
In 20 years, we used to do raves. There'd be 4,000 kids.
Yeah.
Right? 5,000 kids and not one fight.
Right.
You know why? Because MDMA was used to treat PTSD during Vietnam. what they call ecstasy.
Right.
And marijuana, really, if you want to drop the crime rate, all you do is make prisoners smoke weed, and the crime rate will drop like 90%. Even violent criminals will just get the munchies, sleep, and forget, and make a lot of plans they do not care. They do not carry out. All the guys I know that smoke weed have great plans, and those plans are standing right now.
Right.
They're standing by. They have great plans. They're the hypothesis, the theories, the speculation is all there. They're very intelligent, but they're all the guys I know smoke too much weed. These guys cannot follow through with anything. So, but the one thing they never do is crime. You know why? Because they don't get around to it.
You just relax. Come on, everything's good with the world.
Right. Their only problem is overbreeding. But,
right.
They're afflicted by the overbreeding issue.
Right.
Apparently, pretty girls like weed, so that's an issue. Some ugly guys have weed, so it helps them.
Right. Nice. Calms down the nerves.
This is a very important security-related matter for public safety. The weed is allowing ugly men access to pretty women. We need to address that issue.
Oh man. Yeah, then you compare the people who die from alcohol related illness or properly prescribed prescription medication, FDA approved prescription, which is all legal.
The person the nicest lawyer surgeon in the world drinking alcohol becomes a violent menace, and that's legal.
Right.
It's ridiculous, man. Totally ridiculous. So I don't drink or smoke anything. So for me, think about how stupid this sounds. Alcohol is legal. That's okay. But this weed stuff's got to go. It's evil. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm just an observer. Okay. I'm saying I never had a problem with someone who smokes weed ever.
Yeah, right.
Crack included. By the way, I deal with crackheads quite often over my time period here in Detroit, and not just Detroit. Because guess what? The majority of crackheads go to work every day. Okay, you can't buy a Bentley as a crack dealer with people on a bicycle stealing car radios. Okay, so let's be clear about who's on crack. People on crack have good jobs to afford the crack.
Yeah, and
crack does not kill. And how do you know? Because not only do crackheads that ever see, you see them forever unless they get killed by the police.
Yeah,
or hit by a car or something, right? Otherwise, crack, for some reason, I think it preserves your life. Because I know guys who are crackheads, they will wash a car with spit and a napkin and in sub-zero weather and not complain. Okay? These guys can ride bicycles backwards in the snow. Right. And crack is like, soldiers should have crack so they can just go to war. Because it just apparently makes you tough as I don't know what.
Right.
But at the end of the day, man, I've never been attacked by a crackhead. I can talk to them. Hey, stop doing that. Please don't do that. No problem, right? Yeah. I could be. We had a doctor that got cut off. True story. Surgeon. He got cut off out in the suburbs. One of our upscale suburbs. We're working an event. This guy is a surgeon near a yacht club, and he just decides that when he got cut off, that he is going to threaten to kill the bartender with bombs. I will blow this place up. I will bomb you. So we didn't call ATF.
Right.
We didn't have the place surrounded by SWAT team or anything.
Right.
My guy just went up and said, "Sir, you have to go." And this doctor grabbed his arm and bit a hole in it.
Wow.
This is a surgeon.
Okay.
Mad because he was cut off from alcohol.
Oh man.
Now I have never had that from a crackhead, a cokehead, a weed head, nothing.
Wow.
And nothing like that. So I've had thousands of people that come from my organization now. Right. Thousands.
Right.
Approximately 5,000 people have come through my program. We have never been attacked by crackheads or cokeheads or any of
that. So what are you trying to say, that what the media portrays is false?
No, the media is very accurate, sir. I want to go on record. Osama did it. He was just lying because he was a liar. Osama's a liar. He felt bad at the end, and we didn't say that he did it because Osama is a liar. We know. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. Like the way the film industry, like Hollywood movies, yeah, the way they portray drug dealers, weed, and the police. The police are, the selfless, brave, courageous people who throw themselves into harm's way, put themselves second and protect the innocent and all things like that. And
Okay, stop there. So police officers say this to, and so imagine this: there are good cops that joined, like they saw TV shows, they wanted to do that, right? Then they get in there and they're like, okay, listen, rule number 1, stay safe out there. Wherever you go, you make sure you stay safe first. You get home to your family at night. That's what you do. Your number 1 goal: fuck these people. You get home to your family. Okay, wait. How does that make sense? If my goal is to get home to my family, how can I do that going into people's dark backyards?
Mm-hmm.
For sure, right? Yeah. So when a 6'8" super athletic officer gets gunned down chasing a 15-year-old kid, true story, he got shot in his crotch. They don't have the tactics, man. We teach cops for free. I want cops to stop dying on our watch, so I actually train them for free, man.
Wow.
So they understand the biomechanics on how to take people down without killing them,
Wow.
without getting killed.
Wow.
One cop, 6'8", he could have been like a pro football player, becomes a cop. He can leap a car, man, in full sprint.
Wow.
He's awesome, right? He takes off their 15-year-old kid, takes the kid down. The kid rolls over and shoots him in his crotch, in his knees. Yeah, in his crotch.
Wow.
In his knees. He's retired at age 26. The officer was like a superhero. And so then he grows his hair out, becomes a rebel, and limps around now with full retirement from the police department, right? Driving an SUV, gets pulled over by the cops all the time and harassed for being a thug.
Really?
How unfair? I mean, like, they don't even listen to him. He's like, dude, I'm a cop, man. I'm a retired cop. I was shot in the job. They're like, they don't believe him.
Really?
Giant, dark-skinned, African-American guy.
Wow.
He looks like every thug from the movies.
Wow.
So they just don't give him a break. And he was like a hero on the job.
Right.
And yeah, but so, the reality is we live fantasies, man, from watching TV. And,
right.
We just got to be honest and get real. A lot of police officers are inculcated in this system of that they didn't agree when they started, and then it's part of your group. So you're going to do what the group says, and if you don't, there's a price to pay, man. Serpico had to pay the price. A lot of cops are terrorized by their police officers when they come forward. A lot of cops who do want to do the right thing are fired, relegated to the schools. They're put at the police officers that they call officer nicely. They put them either off the department or they put them in some community policing position or community relations, or they put him in the office. They just like hide him so that he can't be a part of other things that they don't want to be part of. And so the officers with integrity, one of the ways you'll know is they don't hang out with other cops. Generally, they stay with their families. They're kind of to themselves, and they don't want to get into that group culture, which is great. In my organization, I discourage any off-duty hanging out whatsoever. There is no family. There is a mission. We have our own individual families. We're not allowed to form artificial bonds. Our bonds are as professionals who train together, but we are not a family. We have our own family, and you're encouraged to have your own.
Right.
I'm not your father. I'm your coach.
Right.
You're not my child. I have children. Okay. So my men have to understand we are not the military. We're not the police force. We're not a gang. If you are wearing my uniform, you have a higher level of responsibility and accountability than anyone. One time, a lady said, back in the 90s, she said, one of your men just called me a bitch. I said, really, ma'am? Which one? So go up. I said, ma'am, right, show me who he was. So I go up to the guy. I said, this lady, she said you called her a bitch. This guy's from Puerto Rico. He says, hey, she's lying. This bitch lying. I never call a bitch a bitch. I never call a bitch a bitch. This bitch lying. I was like, you know what? You're fired right now, ma'am. I apologize. Next time you come back to this event, you get in for free. And that individual, you can see, he's fired right now. Get out.
Wow.
There's no like, let's have a tribunal. Let's do some nurturing. Let's get some counseling. Here's what you're gonna get. Get the fuck out of my face.
Wow.
You take my shirt off, my uniform off,
Right.
and get off my property.
Right.
You disrespected someone. This is someone's sister, someone's daughter, someone's mother.
Mm-hmm.
You disrespect them, it's like disrespecting my sister, my mother, my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Wow.
We don't do that. So you should run from me now.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
You should run from me right now. It is in your best interest. So,
wow.
Bottom line, man, is accountability and responsibility are one.
Right.
We have to understand that family, everyone is somebody's family.
Mm-hmm.
And you should look at every person as though they're a member of your family. If you had a crazy uncle that had a knife or a gun and he's talking crazy about killing himself or killing other people, you would what? Shoot your uncle in the head? No.
Right.
You're gonna say, hey, Uncle, come on, calm down, man.
Right.
Put the gun down.
Right.
You're gonna go through you're gonna let him even get off a couple rounds before you would ever shoot your own uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be like, all right, Uncle is not stopping. I'm gonna have to shoot him. You might even take a good one for. All right, Uncle, you shot me in the leg, man. You're gonna make me kill you. Stop it. But you're not gonna be like, hey, Mom, I killed your brother because he was, he's acting crazy. Hey, Mom, you know how he was. I put 2 in his head, 4 in his chest.
Oh.
He's done. He's good. The good news, Mom, is you get his inheritance. Grandma dies. I mean, really, no one's gonna do that, man. If it's your family and they're having some mental illness issue, they're having a drug interaction issue,
mm-hmm.
You're gonna be extra loving in your response and stern. You might do a takedown on your uncle, but you're not gonna bash his brains in.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna try to wound him. You're gonna try your best not to.
Right.
And it doesn't mean you're absolutely not gonna kill him. You're just gonna really try not to.
Right.
That's the point. You're gonna try not to. Now, in the event that there was no other way to stop from killing you or your mom or your aunt, you're gonna have to do what you have to do to stop your uncle. But you're really gonna go to the far ends of the earth to really not hurt your family.
Right.
And that's why you need to look at all people you come across. People have bad days. People have drug interactions. People have mental illness. People have depression. There's all kinds of reasons why someone might be violent one day and aggressive and out of control. So what we do is study techniques that allow us to dominate them psychologically first. My understanding biomechanics, physically last. And what I mean by last is because the law is very, very important. Understanding civil and criminal law is vital to your survival. And so we're a survival school first, not a fight school. So, for example, your best survival strategy when you're in a domestic situation, say your ex-wife came over, ex-girlfriend, it's time for you to run. Do you legally have to run? No, you can fight, beat her up if you want to. And you might even be able to legally prove that you had to beat her up and blah, blah, blah. That's not in your best interest. What's in your best interest is not be fighting women.
Right.
So get out of there, run,
Mm-hmm.
escape. You'll be fine. She breaks up some stuff, you'll buy some new stuff. But beating up girls and fighting women, just because you can legally, is not really in your best interest in any way, liability-wise as well as criminally. So we just teach a realistic system that's based on what's best for a good quality of life. There's nothing wrong with taking a little sprint to stop a violent altercation with a female coworker, or some coworker is out of control one day. Just get out of there. Not a big deal.
Right.
Swallow your pride and move on.
Right.
And replace pride with purpose. That's what we teach. That's why I extol. Very important is to replace pride with purpose. Man, what is your purpose? What is your purpose in interacting with this person today? What is your purpose in this building, at this house? What is your purpose? This should be what you focus on, not your pride and not how this person, not the perspective you feel right now dealing with this person. What matters is only what desired outcome do you actually have at this time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a really great point. You said, how you have to treat everybody as if they were your own family, and I really feel that. And for me, that's kind of how I look at even people from other cultures, other countries, other religions. I think most people have a common thread to them, in that we're all really trying to just get along, and or make enough money, support our family, but give our kids a good education, bring food to the table, basic stuff like that. And I think when you look at it that way, I think it brings the humanity back to what you do.
Yes.
And so, that's why I really love you. And you guys, talking about that, you guys, since you guys are a private business, you have accountability, or you have responsibility for everything that you do. And so much more than law enforcement would, because your salary and how much you get paid and how many clients you have in the future, it definitely impacts how you treat people directly.
Yeah. Well, what happens is people don't understand that we're accountable.
Right.
We're civilly and criminally accountable. Okay. And so the money, man, is nothing. Money is nothing. What I mean by that is this: when you have an excellent product, when you do something that's excellent, money automatically comes from that.
Right.
You don't have to focus on money. I never think about money and clients and money and when it comes to the mission. Because when you find out that there's people that can protect your property, your family, that can keep you alive and safe, you want to hire them. You don't care where they are.
Sure.
You don't care about the cost when you have the money.
Right.
When you don't have the money, you just need it anyway. And how good is an organization that says, you know what, I will protect you, but sorry, you don't have the money. Sorry. Good luck. Hey, good luck to you.
Right.
No, I really hope you guys make it, because, then you could go to college, you get some money, you could afford us. Right. Then we keep you alive. Of course, right now, it looks like the guy right behind you is going to kill you. But, let your relatives know when they get the insurance money from your death that they can hire us for a funeral.
Oh, my God.
Your funeral. I mean, it just sounds stupid.
Right.
So, I love what I do, man. I love how we help people. The way I explain what our actual purpose is. And I just saw something on Facebook today. There's a girl. She's actually on our website. She was 2 years old. She was a baby. Her name is Imani, and they live in Arizona, her and her mother. But the girl was abducted and taken to Detroit, and by the father who wanted to sell her to Yemeni men for the passport, American passport.
Wow. And
he already had a deal lined up for $100,000.
Wow.
And we ruined that. So we went to the house in Detroit. Got access so the woman could get to her baby. We never touched the child. We never touched the man. We just said we need to do a welfare check. He let us in the house. Her ID shows she lives there. So we were her guests. He can't stop us from being there.
Right.
He has no idea, because being a drug dealer from Yemen, he thought he'd be slick beating the American system by having ID that shows he lives somewhere else. That was not always a good plan, especially when the girl that he uses as cover woman has ID that says she lives there. He thought that'd be good too. Put the house under her name.
Wow.
Yeah, that gave us legal right to be there. The FBI called me because he went to them and said some paramilitary men came and stole my baby. So the FBI called me and they said, "Who are you guys? We had you guys on. We had the house under surveillance. We saw you guys go in the house, and the back of my Hummer has our phone number on it. So I guess the FBI just called the phone number, and kind of easy to figure out who we are.
Right.
Phone numbers on the boat. I saw us get followed one time by I don't know, it was Homeland Security or something in the boat. What was a helicopter? Homeland Security helicopter. I said, okay, if we're doing something illegal, it's kind of hard to do it with your website and your phone number on the side of the boat. Because
you're being real sneaky. You're being real sneaky, right?
Everyone can see us. We're the only boat that's black on top, black interior, black exterior,
right?
Black hull. And the reason why you don't have a black boat anywhere else, but there's a reason. You know why? You know why you don't have black boats?
No.
Do you know why you don't do that?
I don't know.
Because you could die when the sun hits it.
What do you mean?
It's so hot that if you touch the boat, you'll burn your skin.
Oh, really? Oh,
God, it's 1,000,000 degrees.
Wow.
It's like you could cook something on there. Yeah.
Wow.
It looks cool, but you don't want to actually be on there in the bright sunlight and touch the side. I don't touch the side. I stay on the inside.
I see.
But yeah, on the outside it's extremely hot.
Wow.
But it looks so cool in the if you look at our website.
Yeah, I imagine it does look cool.
It's the coolest black boat ever. So Homeland Security, State Police, the sheriffs, all these different Coast Guard, they've all pulled up and got brochures before.
Oh wow, great!
Like, this is the coolest boat ever. And my boat's not even that fast, man. It's a cabin cruiser. It does not go fast. It just looks cool. It's just a good looking thing. We rescue people on the boat, though.
Oh, great.
We rescue people, yeah. Yeah, we actually, like, if you fall off the boat or if your boat breaks down, we'll go tow you for free.
Oh, nice.
Tow you in. Yeah, just help you out. I've only had to be towed 3 times.
Wow. Yeah.
Vice, the HBO special Vice.
Mm-hmm.
You familiar with that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, Vice came out and they got on the boat with us last month and cruised up and down Detroit, launched their drone from our boat.
Wow.
And then my boat broke down.
Oh shit.
So they got to see a side of Detroit, literally the side of the river.
Nice.
We had to tie off and get towed out.
Oh man.
But I got a bunch of new stuff on the boat now. I had it in the shop. Got a bunch of modifications done, so it's all good. So I get it out of the shop tomorrow.
Nice.
But ultimately, man, at the end of the day, protection is the highest form of love. If you actually love a community, you love people, you will protect it. And if you don't love people, if you don't love a community, you can't protect it.
Right.
It's impossible. We never protect what we do not love.
Right.
And we always protect what we do love.
Right.
So what makes a good staff person, what makes a good protector is someone who genuinely loves people, man. And that's what I found out, that I have a connection with staff members that are good people. They really like to see people do well. Like I like to see people happy, man. At the end of the day, if you're drunk or you're high and you're walking on the street, when I pull up to you, it's to help you not walk in the middle of the street and get hit by a car.
Right.
So like, oh God, am I in trouble? No, you're not in trouble. Just walk on the sidewalk. Because cars come through here, you get hit by a car.
Right.
Like, okay, that's it. That's it. Try not to, walk in the wrong house or something, because someone could shoot you. I catch a drunk driver. He crashed into something. I don't know what it was. So I have to call police. I'm on duty, right? So I'm being paid. So I call police. And then I take the keys. I ask him for the keys. He gives me the keys. I hide his keys in the back seat. And in his tuck them in his seat. And he's like, where's my keys? And his car still works.
So he wants to keep driving, you say?
He wants to drive. He's like, I should just go. I was like, oh yeah, no, man. So the whole front of his car is cracked. The whole front of his car is caved in, but somehow the car's still running. At first, I was like, yeah, I can't hear you. You can turn the car off. I was like, oh, sir, can I have your keys? And I said, hey, what's your mom's? Who can I call, man? I need to call someone in your family so I can have them come, help you.
Right.
So he gives me his stepmother's number. I call her and say, he needs help over here. The police get there. The police are like, you took the keys out of the ignition? I said, actually, he took the keys out of the ignition, not me. So she says, well, we can't arrest him for DUI now. I
said, that's the first thing on their mind.
Yeah, I said, you just ruined our case. I said, ma'am. I'm not here to ruin your case and make your case. I can't, in good conscience, let this guy keep control of his keys in this car with the car still running when I know he can't see straight.
Right.
Okay? You actually drove in front of the car to get here. Imagine if I had said, I can't really do anything about the keys of the car. He starts the car, drives down there, and kills you guys.
Right.
Literally the car, the way they came across his path to get where we are.
Right.
So theoretically, he could have just driven straight ahead, floored it, and hit them. Now the 2 cops would be dead.
Right.
So then I guess that would be a case then. But in my book, that would be a case of failure.
Right.
Failure to manage threat.
Exactly.
Failure to have public safety.
Exactly.
So prosecution is proof that you did not prevent predation, which means you had prosecutorial events, which means you had crime.
Right.
Which means you did not have public safety. Public safety is the absence of prosecution. Prosecution is the proof that you had an absence of public safety.
That's nice. I love it when you say how peace prosperity is actually helps you. Like you say you don't do it for the money. You help businesses, but in helping businesses, they get more prosperous, and then they pay you more. So it's a nice feedback loop.
Exactly, and I built it that way. So what I did was I made sure that the rich people get richer,
right?
And then I convert that into the money I need for my philanthropic programs, helping people for free that can't afford services.
Wow.
So the point was to help people. I can't do that without money. I don't have government money. I didn't get any stimulus money.
Right.
I don't have any bank loans. Everything came from sweat equity.
Wow.
It's all generated. I owe no money. I don't owe anyone. I have no partners.
Yeah.
When I get paid, I don't have to go dole it out to people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't owe a bank. And that's what people understand. Like, you got to be in a situation where you're not in a debtor situation. That's where in traditional business, you get bank loans so high that you're stressed out just trying to function.
Right.
And I can focus because I don't have those issues. So, and we also pre-bill. We're a prepaid service.
Okay.
Oh, there's no billing. You pay for what you want.
Right.
It's called performance payments. You pay for the performance.
Right.
So often, security guard companies, traditionally, you pay them 90 days net, right? You pay them 90 days after they did the work. That's insane. You pay me 9 minutes before we work, or 90 days before we work.
Wow.
They're like, so we're going to pay you up front? Absolutely. I've never heard of that. We have now. And let me be clear. You do not call us for a good deal. You can get a good deal. The police are cheaper than us.
Right.
If you want a good deal, you contact security guard, traditional car companies, or you can hire the cops. You can get a police officer and a car for $45 an hour here. We're $60 an hour for the man. Then for the car and the man, it's $100 an hour.
Wow.
Right. It's not cheap.
Right.
$10 for 10 minutes of service.
So then
$10 a month. So if you only need us for 10 minutes, instead of you having us there for an hour, you can pay $10 and have us there for 10 minutes. That's checking your alarm. That's make sure your employees get in their house.
Right.
Make sure your kids get out of their house in the morning or into their home. We check anything you need us to verify and protect to make sure that you're safely where you need to go. And most of that just takes 10 minutes or less.
So you said that you also have free services for those that can't afford it, like when they call your number or something.
Oh yeah. Well, in fact, I just left this meeting. This judge, he was in the prosecutor's office before he was a judge. He said that that they really loved our organization because we made it so victims could come to court. Because a lot of times victims are either too scared or have no transportation and scared. We make it so that they don't feel fear. They can actually prosecute the people that beat them, that robbed them, that raped them, that killed them. I'm sorry, not the ones that killed them.
Right. I guess in that case, the family.
No, that's true. And we have. So a lot of people don't understand. It's like, why would a family need help if their family was already killed? Well, in real life, when people find out that you want them to go to jail, they get mad and want to kill you too.
Right.
Even though they just killed your family member. So, and I know it's unfair to want to kill your whole family, but yeah, there's unfair people out here. They're called violent criminals.
Right.
And they're very unfair.
Right.
So, so it's totally illogical, right? So a lady needs protection because people are driving by the house, coming to the house, threatening them. They killed her son. They want her to go to court and say that she's not mad or something. She has nothing to do with this. All she's doing is going to court just to see who killed her son.
Right.
That's it. She has nothing to do with this. They're still coming to the house. Strange men in her backyard. Please come and check on her like after they've been terrorized. What we do is we stay with them and we physically stay at people's houses if necessary.
Wow.
With our rifles, we stay in their house and the men do not kill them. The gangs do not kill them. So we've never lost a victim in 20 years.
Yeah, that's right. Your history is, I think, would you say no lawsuit and no victims, right? And
no lawsuits, no court dates.
No court.
None of us got prosecuted.
Wow.
And none of us are dead.
Yeah.
6 of us have been shot. 1 female, 5 men. No one's ever been prosecuted for shooting us. Not one person has ever been caught, arrested, talked to, and every single one of our shootings were with massive numbers of witnesses everywhere.
Oh, okay.
We've been shot. Six of us have been shot. 1 female, 5 men.
Right.
Have been shot from 1995, 96
right.
to 2001.
Right.
Okay. And every time we got shot, I learned a little more about how not to get shot again.
Right.
So we changed our tactics, and then other things changed, and they stopped shooting at us. Let's just say that they feel it's the best to stop shooting at us.
Yeah.
and they did. But not to say they couldn't do it again today, because we're out every night, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In Detroit, the city of Detroit, not a city suburb of Detroit, the city, the inner city.
Right.
And all the way around our communities are lots of crimes. We just make the criminals feel like this is not a good place to hunt.
Yeah.
The way we do that is by making sure they believe we're formidable. They believe that we're not old people that will call the police and do nothing. They believe we'll stop them, and they believe that because they have history knowing of our organization.
Yeah. So you guys must have some reputation with the criminals and the gangs and.
Our reputation is being violent barbarians. That's our reputation.
Really? Oh, according to them?
Yep. Yes. A police officer once told a guy that owns a $250 million company. The police officer said, "You saw me leaving this guy's office. It's a $250 million company in 1998, and I was being interviewed for this position where they were hijacking cigarette trucks." And as I was leaving, this police officer walks in. He goes, "Hey, Viper." I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" I knew this cop. He owns an off-duty security guard company, right? But I didn't know him personally, and so I just knew of him. He's a bodybuilder and much bigger guy than me. And so he walks in. The client's like, "How you doing?" He said, "Fine." He goes, "You know who just left your office, right?" The cop says that to the rich client, and the rich client goes, "No, it's just some guy was referred to me. Talks like Brian Gumble. I'm not impressed." So the cop was like, "He's a violent barbarian. He has an organization of violent barbarians. You do not hire them unless you want people hurt, injured, destroyed.
Wow.
They're horrible. They're just terrible."
Yeah.
And so the client was like, "That guy that talks like Brian Gumble that just left here is in charge of violent barbarians?" He's like, "Yes, sir. Yeah, you do not want to." I have all cops. They're all armed. They're all off-duty cops. They're all veteran cops. Quite a few of them are bodybuilders, and they're all part of my team. You want to hire us? He was like, "Wait a minute. You're saying that off-duty cops are going to be better than on-duty cops? On-duty cops have not helped me in the past 3 years, where I'm losing $100,000 a month in product. My men are being hijacked. They're being stabbed. They're being abducted. On-duty cops can't stop this, but your off-duty cop organization can stop it? What? There's no way I'm going to believe that. You can't do it on duty. There's no way you can do it off duty."
Right.
He goes, "But you know what you just did? I'm going to tell you honestly, you just got that guy that left my office the job. Because I need some violent barbarians." He said, "I'm hiring them right now, and you're the one who made it possible."
Wow.
That guy, I need to find that cop and give him a reward, because that is now my longest standing client.
Oh, really? Wow.
We're almost at 20 years with that client.
Wow.
My men ride the cigarette trucks throughout Detroit since 1998.
Wow.
Every day. So we have delivered successfully more cancer sticks than any other organization in the history of mankind. I'm so not happy about that.
You know,
I am happy about the part where no one got abducted.
Right.
Comp was carried out. Taxes were paid to the city of Detroit, and people are living a safer life because of our actions. So at the end of the day, we made it so that commerce could happen by not having violence contributed to the city of Detroit.
Right.
And we have not had, in our 20 years, while escorting $1 billion in cigarettes, their destinations, we have not. Right, I'm very mad. So, but I'm not mad enough to quit, but I'm very mad. So, yeah, I'm a Democrat-Republican person. So, and really, I don't believe a two-party system, to be honest. I think it's silly.
Right.
But I do believe we should get a purple finger, one man, one vote, like the Iraqi people. How can we free them, but we can't free ourselves? Where's our purple finger?
Purple finger. I have not heard about the purple finger. What is the purple finger?
In Iraq, they dip your finger in ink.
When you vote?
Yeah, that's how you voted.
I see. Oh, it's like proof that you vote. I see.
Yes, I want the purple finger for Americans.
So
But we can't get that because our vote doesn't count.
Right. So the way I look at that, I mean, even if you don't agree with, the type of business that your client runs, still, with that income, you can do the kind of philanthropic activities that you do.
Yes.
And so it's still, you're still a benefit to the people who live around you.
That's exactly right. And so what I did, and that's what I try to get across to, kids that we mentor in our kids programs, you find a way. You find a positive way to fund yourself. You do not need the government to fund you.
Right.
It's not necessary. You don't need anything you don't have. And I didn't have anything. All I had was the outcome. That's all I had. And so the outcome can be leveraged. You just have to be able to convert it. You have to be intelligent.
Right.
You got to be able to figure things out. And if you can't figure things out, if you're not intelligent, life is going to be hard. So
Right.
you need to work on getting yourself smarter.
Right.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, my objective is to get people to see that violence is a choice.
Right.
England Britain is filled with lots of different types of people that are not getting along. Somehow the killings are way less than ours. Okay, England's also very small, but that is a good point. It is like it's like a state, damn near. So we're kind of comparing apples and oranges there, but it seems the same. But the important thing is to realize that our concept of killing and necessity is based on traditional violence in Americana culture. It is not real. There is no moral imperative to kill. You are not required to kill anyone. If I killed based on law, I would have killed 30 police officers by now and over 100 citizens. Okay?
Right.
It's not true. So when I saw people do things that looked funny or furtive gestures, I did not draw down. I did not shoot them.
Right.
And in quite a few situations, it happened to be police officers that didn't identify themselves or didn't realize something or, broke a rule. Like some officers broke into a building that I was living in because a security guard thought that I broke in. So they broke in to look for a break-in.
As an undercover agent?
No, it was 10 officers.
Oh, there were 10.
Coming through my window, and they kicked the window in. So I was gonna mouse hole my wall with my AR.
Oh my God.
With my steel core ammunition.
Uh-oh.
When suddenly I hear a clear voice say, "Detroit Police."
Right.
I immediately put the rifle down, identified myself.
Right.
And the reason why that was never supposed to happen is there's a rule that when a police officer is, as a rule, no matter what law enforcement officer department you work for, if there is reason to believe there's a break-in, you must see the break-in. You can't go breaking in a building saying, "I have reason to believe there's a break-in."
Right.
They broke in my window. Literally, the window is locked with a latch.
Oh my God.
Right?
Yeah.
And they kicked it in. I hear the metal hit so I'm not thinking these are cops. Clearly, police don't break into a place.
Right.
This is my school that I had before, and I lived above the school at that time. This is about 15 years ago. And so I knew they weren't cops because cops would never do that.
Right.
So that's why I got my rifle. Like, oh my God, it's 10 men coming to take me out.
Right. God.
And I could hear the boots coming through my window.
Wow.
I was like, oh my God, it's a gang.
Oh my
God. And it turns out it was police officers.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, is there not a rule against kicking in windows and going in someone's house to see if someone broke in? Would that be weird? Like I don't understand. So I train police officers, and now I've been through a lot of training with them over the years. And clearly you're not supposed to break in to see if there's a break-in.
A little bit of a contradiction there.
Right? It's got it. And illegal, right?
And illegal.
But also it's not smart.
Right.
Clearly, if you're breaking in, it's not broken in already.
Right.
Oh, can you imagine? Why'd you break in the bank? We thought there was a bank robbery, so we came in to break into the bank. That doesn't make sense.
And then what if you did open fire and you could have said, well, I didn't know there were officers. They broke in, right?
Yeah. And then I'd have to open my new office in New Mexico. No, Mexico.
Mexico.
Actual
Right.
Mexico, right?
So go ahead.
So it's because I view the positives that I don't take action and create fatal force outcomes.
Right.
One guy was reaching in his pocket really fast, and he was yelling something incoherent, and he was saying something aggressive. I don't know. I looked at him as mentally ill, and he started reaching his pocket real fast, huffing and puffing. And I was like, what is this guy doing? Right?
Yeah.
Now, if I was using fear-based training, this guy would get rammed by my vehicle and or shot. He's clearly reaching for something,
right,
aggressively, and looking at me. All of a sudden, he pulls out a badge and goes, "I'm retired police."
Oh, shoot.
Now, right before this, he said to me, he goes, your truck says electrical, your trade police. I was like, no, it's collect guys, my system. And he said, was you the police? I said, no, I was not the police. He goes, are you a police? No, I am not a police officer. Well, how can you teach the police is to be the police? I said, sir, I don't teach policing. There's nothing on my truck that says I teach policing. It says I have tactical training for it. It says law enforcement tactical training. Tactical training is not policing.
Right.
I don't know anything about pulling people over and finding out if the pills that they have are Schedule C or 3 or whatever, or searching them for this or that. All I did was weapons and violence and reading people's body language, and that's why I'm not about to attack you.
Right.
I see there's something wrong with you, and he starts reading, right? And it turns out he was a police officer.
Right.
I mean, imagine if I was trained as a cop, this guy's acting aggressively and then reaches his pocket. That's called a furtive gesture.
Right.
And he was armed too, by the way.
Ooh. Wow.
So imagine if I used fear to dictate my action, I would have shot that guy.
Sure, definitely.
Then he peels away, and you know what he was doing at the time? I was getting my boat out of the water, and so he was doing something in a marina. He says, not anything official. We're just two people in two separate trucks, and he starts making small talk with me, gets angry, and draws down his badge on me in a violent, aggressive fashion.
Wow.
So that's why you got to be very careful about responding to stimulus, right?
Right.
What looks like violence is often just a furtive gesture of nothingness.
Right.
There is no actual violent intent. There's just a movement. It's not aggressive with intent to harm you. And then 100 citizens. I had 2 kids rush me at a party. It was a house party. Looked like Project X. Thousands of kids showed up, and it was a impromptu party in an upscale neighborhood. A professional athlete's daughter graduated from college, and he wasn't even there. So I'm telling these kids to leave. You're talking about 1,000 kids and just me, because all my men are somewhere else, and this is not supposed to be a party. We're not supposed to be working there. We're working the community, and I'm by myself at this particular time. But there's nothing going on that requires multiple men. And all of a sudden, we get a call. There's some kind of giant house party, and I go down there, and it's just a massive number of kids. I get the kids to leave without incident. I have to cuss them out. Nothing's all right, kids. Have a good night. I have a sound device that makes noise and some spot, and I have a strobe light. They're like, oh God, and then, oh, it's noisy. Oh God. So one of the kids is like, you better get the thing on my face. I said, sir, as a young man, let's go into the party. Let's go.
Yeah.
He was like, I said, don't put that light on my face. And so he put his fist back and ran at me. Right.
Oh wow.
And he's like, so he ran up like 2 feet from me, like he was gonna hit me.
Right.
And I said, all right, young man, have a good night. He was like, okay. Now, mind you, it's dark.
Right. Wow.
I can barely see him as he's running up to me.
Right.
But I can hear him. I can hear his feet running up to me in total darkness.
Yeah.
Now, if I was prone to fear, clearly that kid would get pepper sprayed, hit with a baton, tasered, or shot,
right.
or all of that.
Right.
I'm not scared.
It's a different mindset.
Right. So I just grab his elbow. Come on, young man. Have a good night. He's like, okay. I turn around. This other kid's like, oh, you shine light on me? You don't mess with me. And he takes his shirt off. I swear it's like 5 seconds later. So now this kid's like, you shine a light on me again, we're going to have a problem. I was like, young man, I shine a light right on him. Young man, get in the car. Get in the car right now. He was like, I told you, don't put the light on me. And he can't run up on me, right? I grabbed him by his elbow, turned him around. I said, get in this car. Have a good night. He was like, man, don't touch me. Don't touch me. I was like, hey, get in the car. Let's go. Have a good night. His boys were there. I was like, get your boy. Come on, let's go. All right, guys, let's go. Let's go. Have a good night. It's over. Right. It's over, man. Could I have legally beat the shit out of them and attacked them and sprayed them? Yes. Would it have been legally justifiable and legally necessary according to, the fearologists?
Right.
The killologists. The fearologists would have a field day.
Right. Definitely.
All I had was some sweaty kids get in the car. I mean, these kids are rushing me, man. Oh my God, they're rushing me.
Right. Yeah.
It's not that serious, man.
I felt
it's
threatened.
Mentality.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Awesome. So yeah, I don't want to keep you too long. But please, if people want to reach you and find out more and contact you, what's the best way they can do so?
Well, I encourage them to look at threatmanagementcenter.com and also Google us in general. You'll see lots of stories, all good stories. There are no bad stories. And all positive, man, all positive. We train law enforcement for free every Monday at 7 o'clock at our facility here in Detroit.
Wow.
I train law enforcement instructors to be the instructors for other officers in their departments. And what we specifically teach law enforcement officers how to do is how to dominate threats without injuring people, without hurting them, without shooting them, to not be gun dependent. We show them how to use psychology and biomechanics and something I created called protective proxemics in order to create a non-adversarial interaction. The same thing we use as bodyguards. Then we teach a free class for families called Free Family Friday, every Friday at 7 p.m. at our facility. So we teach both police and civilians. We give them one free class, 1 hour a week. They can come as much as they want.
Wow.
Get some basics, right? These things will help you.
Wow.
And then we have paid courses throughout the week, paid clients, and we have we do corporate seminars throughout the week. And tomorrow I got one with Department of Human Services. These are the executives, the people that are managers that deal with children situations. Abused children situations.
Oh, okay.
Here. And so what we teach them is how to use psychology, not forceology. How to inspire change, not to intimidate people into change.
Right.
And so how to create a non-violent outcome by design and replace hope with actual skill set.
Right. Beautiful.
Remember, this is Detroit, man, so we've actually tested it. It's not theory. We're not in Detroit, Iowa. We're in Detroit, Michigan, a.k.a. dystopia.
Right.
We create non-violence right here, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it's not like we work like Guardian Angels 1 hour a week or 2 hours a week or something. These organizations that are fly by night. We're long term, and so it's been going on and evolving for 20 years. And we have many families, and this is what we're most proud of, man. If you think about what's the purpose of this, we go into people's lives and we erase a rape, a robbery, a killing from happening to a family. We erase it from their family tree. We make sure it doesn't happen. We erase it, man. Imagine how great that is to know that you stop that from occurring in someone's family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A rape, robbery, or killing never took place because your direct intervention, your direct threat management, it's very positive, man. It's very powerful. And, it's great to see these families come back years later and to have that positive effect on them and see how happy they are years later.
Wow. Yeah, that's so beautiful. And I just love how, so many people, especially in the liberty movement, talk about the police and how so much corruption, and they have, their how do you say, the feedback, the incentive they have is for more arrests, for more, more extortion, more tickets, more all this kind of stuff. And you guys have a completely different feedback mechanism. And you not only, it's not only Say again?
Which starts with our title, which is not policing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that and you guys it's not only theory, but you guys are putting it into practice in like the worst possible area in the country.
Yes. So if it works here, it works everywhere.
Right.
And then we use non-lethal weapons. We use devices that are specifically designed not to kill people. We have things like pepper pistols.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Wow.
But we don't have to use them, man. If you know how to talk to people, you know how to psychologically communicate with people in a positive way,
right,
and create conditions, even with the predators, that there's no way for them to win.
Mm-hmm.
And once they believe in you, you don't have problems. When they see us and they see our uniforms, they see how serious we are, they just realize it's better to just go away.
Right.
And we let them go away. We're not here to capture them.
Right.
If you stole a TV, we don't want you to steal a TV, but you know what? We're not going to do anything about it. We're just going to film you, send you on your way, tell the police which way you went. We're not going to kill anybody or get injured or kill people or get injured or injure people over toasters, TVs, and tools. Right. We have insurance for that. Right. If you want to keep people out of your house, I can show you how to do that.
Right.
I charge money for that. But I will show you how to take your vulnerability assessment and make a threat management assessment, create a safe structure, which make it incredibly hard for someone to get in, even with a sledgehammer.
Right.
But it costs money.
Right.
Everything costs money.
Sure.
And if I capture that guy, it's going to cost you $10,000 on a small end to prosecute him for me sitting around a courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
So this concept of kill and capture, it's only government agents are going to be able to do that for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So once it's corporate, you're going to be like, oh, shoot, someone's stealing my TV. Bye-bye. Because once you dollarize this, only a government worker makes it feasible to go to court and prosecute people.
Mm-hmm.
I am way too expensive. There's almost nothing short of your life. Nothing short of your life or your orifices is worth all the money it's going to cost you.
Right.
Okay. Like someone punched you.
Orifices. Okay.
You got that?
That's a good way to put it.
So if someone punches you, right? And I come over saying, you want me to take him down for you? You're going to be like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
You mean like take him into custody and detain him? Yeah, I can detain him, sir. He's a threat to you. I can detain him or ward him off. It's your choice.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be like, let me dollarize this. Hold on.
How much is it going to cost me?
Right. So basically, I give you a car.
Right.
Yes, sir. You're by the time it's over, you will have bought me a nice little car. Can you just tell him not to punch me anymore? I
right.
Sure can. Bye-bye. $10. That's $10. Bye-bye. Get off the property, sir. Okay. Now, we take him down, take him to custody,
right,
prosecute him. You're going to be very mad.
Right.
That bill, especially when you find out how much dicking around they do in court.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. We could have 10 court dates.
Right. Exactly.
And then you're like, how'd you get that? Why'd you guys get a helicopter? Because you helped us. You helped us. You helped us get our new threat-a-copter.
Yeah, your second boat. What happened?
Right, that's your second boat. I should thank you, sir.
This one looks even cooler than the first one.
Right. I'm going to name this after you, sir.
Right.
You made it possible. So this whole anti-violence movement thing that I represent also represents prosperity movement.
Right.
Because without violence, you can make a lot more money.
Right. Definitely.
So I offer people peace, and from peace, we're able to leverage and create the only outcome there is, and that's positivity. And from that, there is prosperity. So focus on creating a peaceful, positive environment, and automatically it's going to be more prosperous. Kids can sleep at night, adults can rest and own property without fearing for their safety. And the lack of predation means property values goes up. Everyone lives better. Everyone survives better. Everyone has a better quality of life, and economics increases for everyone. Even the city gets more residents, gets more businesses, and gets more tax revenue. So everyone is a winner, literally, when we do not have violence and crime and predation.
Right. Wow, that's so beautiful. Magnificent. I love it. I love supporting you. I love I'm trying to help you get the message out there. I know you've done a lot of interviews, and I hope my audience will check out your site, check out what you guys are about, and support you any way they can, because I think you guys are representing the future of protection and true defense. And
that's our objective, is to spread everywhere We got franchise facilities that we're training centers that we're going to be introducing in 2017, and we're also looking at spreading to different cities, different states, and eventually different countries. I'm going to Nigeria next month.
Wow.
With the concept of possibly getting a threat management center started there.
Wow.
With some business people there. They're very interested. People are really interested in how they create an environment where violent crime does not take place and prosperity is a result. They really like that part. But the one thing I got to get them to understand, and this is why I'm glad that you took this time out to interview me, it's really about creating an environment based on vision, not based on focused on money.
Right.
So it's the mission over money.
Right.
And the money is a byproduct of the mission.
Yeah.
It is not the focal point.
Right.
And so I wouldn't have any money if I thought about the money.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't make any money off communities. I make money off of wealthy corporations. I funnel that money into my life and into the families that can't afford services and into the communities themselves. Because the communities are not a financially profitable situation. But my wealthy major corporations that do have a lot of money, like the one company I told you about, they were $250 million company.
Yeah.
They're now a $300 million company.
Nice.
Okay. So these companies have the money. I converted it. They don't feel happy or comfortable without me because I represent your ability to sleep at night, knowing you have an entire paramilitary positive force that keeps your products flowing without violence, crime, and court dates. No collateral legal issues.
Wow.
Think about that.
It's a win-win.
It's a win for everyone, man. It's real positive. Police are positive. They're supporting us in our communities because at the end of the day, they're winners. So we're getting a really, really positive legal connections as well with the law enforcement community that's interested in public safety. Because there are a lot of officers, good officers that do care about public safety. They're just part of a system that cares about prosecution, which is, where there's always this, neutral negative kind of inappropriate interaction between civilians and police. We need to get the police on the same pattern, on the same path as the public, which is prevention of all those negative metrics and reward police for positives, reward for police for the outcomes we're looking for. If police had no cars crashed, they get a bonus. If police had no injured people taken into custody, they get a bonus. If police ended up with no killings in a department, they get a bonus. All you do is reward for all the positives, and you'll have them.
Right. You change the incentives. Yeah.
Yes, and then exchange incentives.
Right.
And then because that doesn't happen, the lawsuits go down 50%,
right.
90% of lawsuits.
Right.
That's where you get the money from to reward the officers from the lack of lawsuits.
Right.
You can literally drop down the lawsuits by 50%. And that other 50% is what you use for the actual paying of the cops for the positive outcomes.
Yeah, so, that's wonderful.
Positive for everyone.
You remind me of a quote by Albert Einstein, which is, "Don't worry about making money. Worry about providing value." And I think that's what you guys are doing. Completely, and you guys are very successful. So yeah, awesome. So please, everyone, go to his website, go to the Facebook page, check out what he's about, and support him, because I think we need more people like this, more organizations, and I hope that you do spread, because I think this can have a really, really positive impact on other countries that have major crime rates. Like Colombia, and countries that are really, really
in Colombia and Venezuela. All you do is hire the police, and all of a sudden those banditos that look like police will stop abducting people.
Right.
Magically.
Right. So yeah, awesome. So beautiful. Yeah, great talking with you, Dale. I really appreciate it. Thanks
for having me.
No problem. So if anybody wants to help me out, you can do so through Patreon, patreon.com/peacefulanarchism. You can also do through Bitcoin or PayPal. Links are below. And also through clicking on my Amazon affiliate links, and you can make your purchases there. And I get a commission at no extra cost to you, and help me interview more fascinating people like Dale here that I love to do, and I would love to do more. And as we were just talking about, we all respond to incentives, right? So I love doing this. I offer these videos for free, but of course, your time is not really free because there's always opportunity costs to doing something else. So monetary compensation is always encouraged and appreciated. So thank you very much, Dale. Wonderful conversation. So this is Peaceful Anarchism on the Voluntary Virtues Network and theconsciousresistance.com and theseedsofliberty.com. Wishing everyone have a wonderful day. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com. That's getcell411.com.